Welcome back, Officers Republic. Blah, blah, blah. It's the PPPodcast. Van Seal's here. You can't see him because it's an episode of APGAINS at night. It's just APGAINS. But it's harder to see me, and Van Seal is wearing all black right now. He's got face paint on, so he's hiding somewhere in the background. But he's here, I promise. Are you here, Van Seal?
Completely camouflaged, but
Yes.
my lights are off as well, so you wouldn't be able to see me even if you tried.
So we're recording this late at night on the 31st of August, which I don't know if you heard, Van Seal, has not currently burned red yet, but it still could.
I still have hope. There's still about 3 hours and 42 minutes for August to burn red.
All right, well, if it ends up burning red, we're going to call up Cubs fan Han live and congratulate him on his successful prediction of the burning color of August. Is that a plan?
Sure.
Okay. Because that was the greatest video I've ever seen in my entire life. He's like, it's confirmed, red 5, it burns red. I didn't even know this, but apparently it's just a band that CG likes, and they were trying to make wordplay. So once again, we read way too much into this. But do you think August is still going to burn red in the next 3 hours, even though CG employees left work 5 hours ago?
If I have to single-handedly prove that August is going to burn red, I will go to Taco Bell, and I will make some connection that August is going to be burning red.
Okay. If you had to pick how August would burn red, that wasn't. Oh, guys, look, Savaggio press shards. Maybe I should pick up some Savaggio press shards.
Dude, like, okay, so when I read August burns red, like, I thought, like, okay, like, and maybe, like, I didn't read too much into it, but, like, just from playing other games, especially Star Wars games, I used to play the Old Republic for, like, I don't know, like 6-7 years. They do special events every now and then. Every special event, like, August burns red. I'm like, I wonder if there's, like, something related to, like, Dathomir, like, some kind of Dathomir event we're gonna do. I'm like, I saw
we did have the Night Sister event. We did
have the HOM-E Datacron. I was like, there's gonna be something, right? Like, there'll be something kind of cool to put together, like some little thing. And I'm like, no, there's nothing.
We check the events just in case they just dropped a Red 5 event without telling us.
It's just for us. It's just for us. It's gonna expire in 5 minutes.
Yeah, where is it? It's got to be here somewhere. I bet if I just click really hard,
maybe August burns red was maybe that was just a correlation to the amount of Inquisitor GACs we're gonna have because they have red lightsabers.
Shit, dude. No, dude.
And they're just like, hey, by the way, August is nothing but Inquisitors. So
no, I figured it out.
I'm a huge fan of Inquisitors. I love that faction so much.
Me too. Speaking of that, I opened up the Galactic Challenge, and there is Royal Guard, and Royal Guard is red. I know you can't see it right now, but it's still August. And wait, I have a great idea. So there's Royal Guard, he's red, it's August. Wait for it. I'm gonna go in, but not with my Inquisitors, because they're all gear too. I'm going to bring in, guess the character. You can't see my screen. Who am I bringing in?
Tusken Shaman.
No. Think, Van Seal. August burns red.
Darth Maul?
Close. I mean, not really close, but...
Maul?
Someone who burns. He's part of the only faction that you actually care about, and he...
R2?
It's Django.
Oh, well, he's not red.
Yeah, but he's gonna burn the Royal Guard, who is red.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go with a whole team that's like red. I thought you were gonna go like Maul, Darth Maul, Royal Guard. Like I thought you were gonna go with a full like red face paint team. Like I don't know.
No, it's 8:30 Wednesday. August
Oh, you're gonna
31st.
bring in all the burn characters, which we're doing.
Well, I'm bringing in one burn character because I forgot that multiple characters had burning, but just burn them red. And
Sidious, you're not red. You're maroon. Get out of here.
Okay, my bad. Apparently,
I figured it out. Okay, so you go Talon lead. You go Talon lead.
Okay.
Oh shit! You go Talon lead
all
with Sith Trooper, Maul, Darth Maul, and Royal Guard.
Okay, I don't know if I have.
That's your August Burns red team right there.
I don't have Maul, so I don't even think I have either of them all, sadly. But alas, August did not burn red. But in all seriousness, I mean, we're fairly confident we're gonna get Red 5, right? Like it fits thematically with what they're. I feel like this is a JMK
so I
Lord
think
Vader
we're gonna
thing.
get Red 5, but I don't think it's gonna be what people think. Like I don't think it's gonna be like stick this with the profundity to make your super JMK space fleet even more super amazing. No, I think what's gonna happen is um I think
Is
Red
this
5 is gonna go with Red 5 is
home
gonna
one?
go with Home 1. Yes, because that's where you're because I mean we'll talk about the profundity in this podcast, but like if you're trying to split your rebel fleet up, like it's like your Phoenix and your cargo ships go with profundity. Your X-wings and your U-wings, and I guess your Raven's Claw. No one even has that yet. That goes with Home 1, but Home 1's kind of like really, really missing some key components now.
Yeah.
So like, I think if you run just all X-wings or whatever when Red 5 comes out, like that will make Home 1 good again, because right now Home 1 just like donated its kidneys and its lungs to like profundity.
Yeah, but honestly, like, if you think about it, it's really only donating the, well, I guess the BLT Y wing. No, that's the Galactic, but
Yeah,
it's
the Y
the
wing
Rebel
is
Y
going with
wing
profundity.
and the
Yeah,
MILF, but that's it. Like,
well, and Dash. Dash is on there permanently.
but was anyone using Dash in the actual Rebel fleet? Like,
It was pretty awesome. It was
okay.
awesome. It was like, oh, the rebels can kill anything except Executor. And now
Actually,
it's like, well,
I just watched Calvin Awesome on GAC today kill a standard Executor lineup with his Rebel fleet. It was
oh yeah, it was the triple attacker probably. Yeah,
no, it had Houndstooth in the starting lineup. It was the actual just normal. It was
okay.
really weird.
Huh.
I was
I wonder
actually,
what. I wonder if it
yeah,
was a maxed out fleet then.
it was. Like I said,
Really?
he was like, yeah, I don't think this is gonna work, but like I don't have any other chance, and
Well. So
it was
Dash
perfect.
does a good job at like killing Razor Crest because like when he does his special, those
Yeah,
5 hits are individual hits. So Razor Crest loses all of its armor in one
yeah,
ability. It's just like done. Um. Oh, that's cool to know. I mean, good for Calvin. I've never
yeah.
dabbled with
I've
that, but
never ever seen that happen before, except for like I was just like drifting in and out of consciousness, trying to be unproductive, and I like opened
yeah.
Twitch, and then I just watched him beat Executor with Rebels, and then fell
And
back
the
asleep.
reason the reason I'm like rooting for Red 5 to go with Home 1 is because like right now like Rebels are kind of like the only thing I'm thinking of that can counter profundity. Ironically, it's like out
Yeah,
of all the
talk about
ships,
that
it's like
because you before we started,
Akbar is like
you're like,
it's like well because
there's no counters, none.
dude, they literally gave JMK wings and they transformed him into a ship.
Oh
That's
my
literally
god,
what the profundity is.
can
I
you
hate it so much.
for the thumbnail of this? Can you get me like the JMK PNG, but like Photoshop wings around him?
I could just like get Ewan McGregor's face and Photoshop it in the front of the profundity. That might be easier.
Okay.
Like make it look like Thomas the Train, but like profundity.
Stretch his face out, JMK with wings. That's a great line. I'm gonna start. I think that's gonna catch on.
No, seriously. If you read the kit, it's literally like when JMK came out, it was like know this, know that, know this, know that. Nobody gets turn meter. It's like all these little things. It's like wow, I can't use this because of this clause. I can't use this because of that clause. And it's like that's what profundity feels like. And like, I mean, I'm sure people are gonna be very happy and excited to get
Mm-hmm.
profundity. I'm not. I'm so far away from it. Like I'll probably get it sometime this year. Like I think I'll get it this year. Like I'm like the Recs aren't too bad. It's just I haven't
Yeah.
really committed myself to relicking those characters yet. Um, but I think CG missed the mark when they said Profundity is gonna beat the Executor and Executor is gonna beat the Profundity. I'm like, I don't even think Executor is beating this thing.
Well, what
At
if it's one of
first,
those situations where the AI is just terrible, but the mechanics make it so you can't beat it? Like,
they'll fix it. They'll fix it.
no, but I
They'll
mean,
fix
wouldn't.
it.
Okay, so hear me out.
Like,
Like, let's say because of the kit, you can't counter it with Malevolence Negotiator, Finalizer, whatever.
yeah.
It's just too strong. But
Mhm.
the AI is not amazing. So if you go against it with Executor, you can beat it because it's not doing the optimal plays like you would on offense, right? If you took it on offense, you do the right plays at the right
I
time,
mean,
and you win. But on defense, it's just
it's gonna be really hard for it to not like screw up because some of their abilities are just like some of the abilities are so just anti like there's one I think it's the first special. It's so anti executor. It's just like it makes it like idiot proof. I mean, it's just like some of the things I'm reading on here like because like I was theory crafting like ways to beat this before the kit came out. I was like, all right, what
mhm.
fleet should I work on? I was like, I'm gonna hit Empire really hard. Like there's a couple of ways I figured out how to get Empire faster than any fleet in the game, including First Order. And I'm like, okay, maybe we'll use that gimmick and we'll work something out. And No, like literally every freaking clause in this unique, it's like no this, no that. You can't critically hit their ships. You can't gain a turn meter, which makes Malevolence completely irrelevant. It makes
Yeah.
TIE Fighter irrelevant.
It also gives unsummoned like 100% protection up for everyone.
Right. Yeah, and if
On
if you're
top of
familiar with the way
150% defense.
if you're familiar with the way ships are, ships typically have way more health than they do protection. So when that protection up goes through, it's gonna feel like Gideon under Lord Vader, where it's just like it's a crap ton of bonus protection. It's just like you're not gonna chew through it. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
So Malevolence is out the window. Negotiator is gone too because remember Anakin. So here's the funny part: Jedi Anakin, gets a bonus turn, right? Like the character gets a bonus turn, but his ship does not take a bonus turn. He gets 100% turn meter. So because you have that wording and that verbiage difference, it's a big deal because Profundity prevents anybody from getting turn meter or losing turn meter. It's just literally JMK.
Yeah.
It's just like it just shuts everything down. So. And like I said, the reason I was thinking Rebels might have a chance is because Rebels are typically a pretty fast fleet, and you get penalized for using dark side characters at the start of the battle. Like the Profundity gets all this speed, and if like TIE advances there, Vader's there at the start of the battle, the Empire's reinforcement cooldown gets increased by 1. So it's just like they're literally checking off what do we need to do to fuck everybody over, and it's just like they pretty much hit it all. So yeah,
Well, I mean that's until Dengar's capital or not Dengar's capital ship. Dengar's ship hits the game.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
it's gonna be like the fucking Cold War, dude. Like they're gonna give another bounty hunter ship that'll make it,
like
and then they're gonna give it another rebel ship. The A-wing comes back, and now Dengar doesn't do anything.
The way I view Executor and Profundity being released, it's like they released Lord Vader first, and now we're getting JMK.
I think that's a pretty good analogy. You want to do that? Let's go like Lord Vader's face over the Executor, and then JMK's face over the Profundity. That'd be that'd be a great thumbnail. I'll do that. Don't worry. You don't gotta slave away for me. But I think that's gonna be a solid thumbnail. But realistically, I'm just gonna put yellow words on a blank background. That's the APGAINS thumbnail that we.
But I mean, that's kind of what it feels like. And I know like it's not even out yet. And you said a lot of people are gonna get it 4 stars. 4 stars, not a big issue. 5 stars, whatever. It's when you see a maxed out Profundity with the right lineup. When you see it with Phoenix, there's, in my opinion, the right lineup is Dash and Y-Wing are always going to be there, the starting lineup. Like, you can't take those characters off. They're way too important. And I don't know if you know this, but, like, Dash, I guess. Dash and Profundity, like, the download thing, they're linked. So whenever Dash gets downloaded, so does Profundity. So you can understand how quickly that ultimate's going to be. That ultimate is, that ultimate.
What are you thinking? Like 4 turns?
4, maybe 3, because there's some RNG. There's some RNG here because like it has the unique says there's a 20% chance to call someone to assist when a rebel ally scores a critical hit.
Yeah.
So yeah, remember Dash hits 3 times on his basic. That's 3 chances. And then if you're on the Falcon there, the Falcon has a 50% chance to also call to assist. And when the Falcon uses its basic, it calls someone else to assist. And here's one thing I do like about Profundity. I think it's kind of cool, very interesting. You have a chance to call the capital ship to assist too.
That is nice.
It's very interesting. I like how they're always trying to find some new way to make like each capital ship like not better, but like feel new, like some new mechanic. Yeah, more interesting, and I do like that about it. But yeah. So your starting lineup is Dash, the Y-Wing, and then you're either going to run Falcon, which I think is going to be the aggressive, super annoying lineup.
Yeah.
Because Falcon's also a cargo ship.
Yeah. Do you think there's going to be a better defensive lineup?
No. It's Dash, Y-Wing, and then you're either running Ghost or the Falcon.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Do you think that there's going to be a comp you use for offense and then a comp you use for defense? Like, you don't put 5s on defense with Negotiator because it pushes turn meter to their Anakin.
Not really, because if on the unique, it doesn't directly say these ships' names, but it's like, crewless tanks. Like, how many rebel crewless tanks do we have? We only have the one, the Y-Wing.
Yeah.
Support cargo ships deal true damage equal to 8% of their max health. It's like, well, Dash is the only support cargo ship, and he's your he's your ultimate like juicer pretty much.
Yeah.
So really, you only have it's either like I said, it's Falcon or it's Ghost in my opinion. And no matter what you do, who you choose, your first reinforcement is always going to be Phantom because
Yeah,
there's a
because there's the
mechanic.
mechanic that if they come back to
Yeah,
back.
the back-to-back reinforces, and then you basically get like you dispel all the buffs on them, and you cleanse all the debuffs on you, and all this. I'm just like it's like a built-in reinforcement on top of the reinforcement already. So it's kind of nuts. And I think that's what makes kits so OP in this game. Like my favorite example about talking OP kits is like Grief Karga. Um, the reason he's the best bounty hunter, in my opinion, is because he does everything passively. Like you don't have to take a turn with him. You don't have to click buttons. He just does things like when you fulfill requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Like he cleanses the bounty hunters. A lot of people don't know that. Like when you get the contract and he's around, he cleanses everybody.
Yeah.
A lot of people just assume you get the contract and the stars line up for you and everything good happens. Like no, that Grief is doing like 90% of the work right now. That's just the way his kit works. It's very passive.
Yeah.
And that's what the Profundity does. It does a lot of passive things that just say you can't play. It's just like
Yeah.
uh,
So do you think the solution is going to be another capital ship in the future, and they're just going to run it on a year-long cycle where you're fucked until the next ship comes out? Or do you think that like
I'm not a fan of this like
I'm not either, but
yearly capital ship cycle because I mean like
I mean it's better than the Negotiator Malevolence 3-year cycle.
yeah,
2 years or
that's
whatever it was.
true. That is true. I mean that was probably their worst ship cycle. I won't lie there. Um, I don't know. I mean it's tough because we really haven't gotten a whole lot in terms of like characters and ships this year. Like I mean I know
Mm-hmm.
we got some ships that were desperately needed. Like whether you like the Resistance faction or not, that bomber really does make that fleet kind of work a little bit better. The TIE Echelon is amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
The
but we'll
Interceptor's
see. I
great.
mean, the
Well, isn't
Intercept, yeah,
that
Intercept's
just
fantastic.
isn't that just simply a byproduct of the first 7 months of the year? They did nothing. For whatever reason, they just weren't producing content. So I feel like it's just a little skewed. Like I feel like recently there's been enough. There's been like a standard level of stuff since maybe June, maybe a little bit before June, and I feel like we're thinking too much about the beginning of the year and not enough about what we're at now. Because like I can see them, adding 3 more ships in the next 4 months, something like that. That maybe shake
Yeah, I
something
mean,
up.
I would really like for them to add. I mean, I might be biased, but I'd really like them to add more Inquisitor ships, just so we can fill out our Empire fleet. Because it feels like we have one super good Empire fleet, and the other one's just like
Yeah.
leftover characters that aren't even Empire ships at this point. It's just like,
Well, I've been saying that for a while. Is like, why not do one of two things? Either, well, I guess you can do all of these. That would be awesome. But like, give Mace Windu a dedicated ship because there's enough Galactic Republic ships to have 2 Galactic Republic fleets, right? Give him Marauder from Bad Batch. Doesn't make sense lore wise, but just give him something that can't be used with Negotiator. So we have
yeah,
2 Galactic Republic. I originally was like, oh, add Trench and then a bunch of new Separatists, but like there's barely any Separatist ships anyway, so I don't think that would work. And then add a couple more Empire ships like you're talking about, Inquisitor, believe it or not. Our Empire, thank you guys for watching. That's been our podcast. But they're Empire ships, and we have another Relic 7 Empire capital ship for whoever farms C. Yeah.
yeah.
I see that as quite possible in the next 4 to 5 months.
And like the Profundity, like I said, like if it is supposed to, I mean, Executor was pretty much our first like GL type ship. Like Executor has dominated since its release, like it was meant to.
Yeah.
I just like I said, I just think Profundity is a little bit like too much. I think it's and like I said, that's just have when you have the proper fleet because when you first see it, a lot of people aren't going to know what to run. A lot of people aren't going to know what to do.
So what are you going to run?
Maybe
Let's say you have it day 1. You got a max Rebel fleet. What are you running?
Dash, Y-Wing, Falcon.
So what's the mistake that people are making? Because you keep saying that people won't know what to run. Like, what do you think people are
because they're not going to be investing in Phoenix.
So their Phoenix is just going to be weaker than they otherwise might be.
No, but a lot of people don't have Relic Phoenix. But I genuinely think if you're trying to get the okay, so if you're trying to get the most out of the Rebel faction, if you're trying to do an even split, I think you put the Falcon back with HOM-E. I think you put the Falcon back with HOM-E. You put the Ghost in the starting lineup.
Do you think you're going to
And
be able
then
to get your 9+ assists to get the shield
Dash
disruption?
Dash does 12.
I thought he does 6 because he is
So that ability
assisting
calls him
twice.
twice. And
So he's doing 3 plus 3.
because he's a support, because he's a support cargo ship, every time he does damage, he's going to deal additional 8% max damage as bonus damage.
Okay, and that's on the unique, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so for some reason
think of I
thought that was part of an ability because I remember there's bonus damage in here somewhere, and I was just confused because I assumed that was part of another ability.
Health.
Okay.
No. So Dash is going to be. It's like permanent. Think of permanent like Xanadu Blood with Breach. Xanadu Blood makes everyone do like bonus damage.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, except it's only for Dash.
Okay.
So yeah, if you do that ability and you call Dash, you're
gonna
get
you don't need the assist from HOM-E.
Nope.
Okay. So because here's the thing, a lot of people on the stream that I did I literally went live like less than 3 minutes after the thing was announced.
Yeah.
And the most common thing that I heard was, you're never. Oh my god, Droidica just deleted my fucking Relic 7 Bosk with one shot.
RIP.
That is a fat RIP. I'm doing my GAC as like B-roll footage. This guy's account is so much fucking larger than mine that I'm just fucked. Like,
cool.
Yeah, it's just
bending over, grabbing the cheeks, and just saying, all right.
There's pretty much just gangbang booty hole porn going on behind us talking. So if you ever hear me make weird noises, that is the exact reason why.
Awesome.
But yeah, the most common complaint, if you can call it that, I heard was you're never going to be able to get all of those points of damage, those 9 hits. But what you're saying is that's not true. Dash guarantees it every time if he's called to assist.
I haven't seen it in live. I'm just, it says instances of damage. Okay?
Yeah.
It says instances of damage. If he does 3 separate instances of damage twice, and every time he does an instance of damage, he does bonus damage. To me, that's the way I've always understood that is that's also an instance of damage. Like I can't really bring any examples up, but I mean like. Xanadu Blood's a good example. So for example, okay, here you go. Xanadu Blood. If you have Breach on somebody and Slave 1 attacks on its basic, Slave 1 could hit anywhere from 1 to 3 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anytime he hits 3 times on someone on Breach, I always see that bonus damage trigger 3 times. So you see 6 instances of damage. 3 of them are going to be in white text, 3 will be in red or yellow if they crit. But yeah, so you do that ability on Dash pretty much every time. Actually, let me rephrase that. You're going to do that ability probably once, because I don't think you're going to use it again before you get your ultimate. Yeah. I think you're just using all the specials, and then by that time your ultimate's ready to go. But yeah, you call Dash, and then you'll get all of that. You'll get the Breach, the Burning, Ability Block, Shield Disruption. And, I mean, that's literally, like, you put that on Houndstooth, and Houndstooth is, like, just fucked. Because you have to remember, even if you go after like another ship, like let's say you go after like Razor Crest or something like that, there's no turn meter. So Houndstooth isn't going to gain all that turn meter when you're hitting other ships. Like it's just like that's why I'm like I feel like CG missed the mark when they said Executor is going to be Profundity, Profundity's going to be. I'm like I don't see it. Like this ship is so overtuned. Like I kind of have regrets not even going for it because I was thinking Jabba. Because he's going to have a TB node, and last time on your podcast we talked about what our ideas are going to be on that TB node, I was thinking that might, carry more weight, that might have more value, but this is just like, holy shit. Like,
I mean, that was my initial impression was like, I didn't know what was going to beat it. And I just assumed that the AI would suck and that, like, it'd be like the JMK mirror matches. Like, with the right datacrons, you could get max banners on a JMK mirror match, but the AI would never fucking be able to do that because the AI would not distribute the stuns very well. So I just assumed that was kind of what was going to happen. But
I mean, I feel like that one special we're talking about, the unconventional maneuvers, I feel like that one has got to be hard coded to always call Dash. Like
Yeah,
no one's just gotta be.
I would imagine
The other
so.
ones, I don't feel like it matters.
Unless it's
I really
hard
don't feel
coded
like
to not to make it beatable. Because
I mean,
like
I don't feel like the other ones
that's
matter.
gonna kill Houndstooth turn 1, right?
Oh, that'll kill anybody. That's gonna. So that's the other thing. It's damage based off of Dash's max health. So a lot of people that have Dash probably have him at R5 for Starkiller Rex. I have him at R8. I
Mm-hmm.
want to take him to 9, just because I'm like, one, the speed. Okay, it's a fast ship. Dash is a really fast ship, one of the fastest in the game. And on top of that, if he has like this big ass health pool, that max damage is just gonna, you're just gonna get more bang for your buck. Um, and then it's like the other ability, the Rebel Fleet has arrived. That one's also a big fuck you to the Executor. It gets rid of the tenacity up that they get at the start of the battle.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it inflicts everybody like vulnerable, and then enemies that were stealth, i.e., Xanadu blood, are inflicted with mark. It's
Yeah.
like it's just like holy shit! Like this is
It
you're
feels like they
pulling
had
the tablecloth.
it feels like they had an intern that they sat down and they're just like, all right, tell us all of the cool mechanics that make fleets good, write them on this piece of paper, and then we're gonna hard code
No,
the
seriously,
opposite of that. They're just gonna
that's
put like
literally what it feels
parentheses
like.
around it and then just put a negative in front of it, and then they
Because
just
I was
somehow
like,
put that in code.
when I was reading this kit, I was reading this at school, and I was like, all right, I was like, let's read this. Like, cargo ships are immune to crits. I'm like, oh, okay, first order's out, and I'm like, all right, well, maybe we'll get some Empire rolling in here, and I'm like, no bonus turn beat. I'm like, all right, well, TIE Fighter's effectively dead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they increased the cooldowns of Vader's at the starting lineup. Okay, so that's kind of out. And then I was like checking and negotiate. I'm like, maybe negotiate will do it. And I'm like, is Anakin get a bonus turn, or like the character gets a bonus turn, but the ship gets bonus turn meter? I'm like, nope,
Now
no
that
turn meter. So
that Anakin thing I didn't think of because I was thinking about that because when they first announced the set 2 datacrons, the start with 25% turn meter, my
yeah,
initial thoughts were, oh, I just got absolutely fucked. I was trying to use Nihilist to get a couple of ads out, and then Thrawn fractured my Nihilist, so I'm fucked. That being said, I was like trying to see how it would work in practice because if you start with 25% turn meter, is that getting turn meter or is that bonus turn meter? Because bonus turn meter is different from gaining turn meter, but then JMK says turn meter manipulation. So
period.
I was
Yeah, no, bonus turn meter and gaining turn meter are pretty much the same thing.
okay. That was like, and then when I saw that in this kit, I was like, okay, well, who's gaining a bonus turn like in the Profundity kit versus gaining
Nobody.
bonus turn
Nobody.
meter?
The only person getting a bonus turn is the Profundity because it's on its basic. When you target one of your allies to assist, they get a
Mm-hmm.
bonus turn.
Yeah.
It's literally like, oh man, dude, I'm
It's
telling you, this
good.
this fleet is gonna be just the
All right,
biggest.
hear me out
Like,
though. Hear me out. I think there is hope because something that most people know about me, but I feel like I don't talk about enough is I'm a junkie for this game. Like I'll listen to. It doesn't matter if you have 10 subscribers or 10 million subscribers. I'll listen to what you have to say just because I enjoy the game, right? So I listen to every podcast known to man. I think I'm doing one like a week from now. The point I'm trying to get to is I remember driving to Santa Barbara. I live in San Francisco, so about a 5.5 hour drive. There was a bunch of traffic, and I was listening to Celiac Sarah's podcast. I was listening to Under the Hollow Table with her and Voxen, who was one of my guildmates. When they announced maybe it was with her other co-host, but they announced JMK for the first time, right?
okay.
Like JMK's kit had just come out, and I remember thinking, like they were thinking that, and this was before Cat, that there was nothing on God's green earth that could possibly beat this. It seemed so unbelievably unbeatable.
Yeah.
And then the first day it was out, Gas beat it because Cat wasn't there.
Right.
And the same thing with Lord Vader. I was like, how are you going to beat this guy? And then you come out and beat fucking Lord Vader with Fennec, a bounty hunter that I'll probably never have. Right? So I feel like I'm hoping, well, I guess I'm not hoping because I'm about to unlock the Profundity, but the APGAINS in a different universe who won't have Profundity early is hoping that it's kind of a similar situation in that we'll be able to beat it, just probably not in the ways that we expect to be able to beat it. So
no, and that goes with what CG says, and I still gotta agree with like to say, if people are wailing and spending on this, and then yeah, you should be king of the hill. Like you should have the new toy. You should be able to be able to get holds and win because of this Profundity. So that like there is there's some justification to that. Like say that when job, well, maybe not when job comes. I have no idea what job is going to do. But you you have the new thing. You should have some edge. You should have some advantage. Um, but like I said, I just think it's overtuned just a little bit because will we be able to be? So the difference between the Profundity and the Executor is the Executor had like one lineup when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It still kind of has one lineup. Eventually, sometimes you'll see the triple attacker lineup. They'll change some counters, but those are like just the counter off meta stuff.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's like you only have 5 bounty hunter ships, so it's like you're really kind of confined to Houndstooth and Razor Crest in the starting lineup, like pretty much all the time, and then it's usually Xanadu Blood or IG 2000, whatever. Anyways, Profundity, you have a lot more toys to mess around with. Like I said, the Rebel faction is pretty big. I know some people that are just gonna kick HOM-1 to the curb, and they're just gonna say, "Hey, I'm just gonna give my Profundity like I'm not gonna give it 5 capital ships to do like a 5 and 5 split. I mean not capital ships, 5 ships to do a 5 and 5 split. But like I'm just gonna give it everything. I'm gonna give it all the best. I'm gonna give it the Falcon. I'm gonna give it this. I'm gonna give it the U-wings. It's like okay, well now you have a super fleet, but it's just like we got to see what people are gonna run the most. And like I said, the nice thing is, in my opinion, you're gonna want Phoenix just because of the bonuses you get for having cargo ships. Like you're gonna want to run Phoenix. Not everybody has Phoenix. Phoenix were not on the Rex for Profundity other than Hera.
Yeah.
So it's like it's gonna be some time I think before A, people figure out you want Phoenix, and B, are they actually gonna relic their Phoenix or not? So it's not a super end of the world, but maybe where I am, very competitive TW guilds and top 1000 top 500 GC. I'll see Phoenix maybe right away, but yeah, I mean the only thing that I do have some hope for the Profundity is it doesn't look super like in your face like Executor, if that makes sense.
What do you mean?
Like I feel like Executor just melts you, right? And I could be completely wrong. Executor feels like it just melts you and then you're just dead.
Yeah.
This feels like it's just going to control and do a lot of damage, but I think it's going to be beating you because it's going to be getting to the ultimate that quickly. Like that's what the pro like versus like the Executor. I feel like most battles you lose against, you don't even hit the Death Star. Like the fleet just destroys you.
If you're doing off meta, yeah. Oh my god, fuck! Dude, I can't kill this Lord Vader. I tried with Wampa, but he had like fucking 400 dots. It just died. I hate money-based matchmaking. Yeah, that's a good point because, I mean, the Executor kind of just rips you to shreds. I'm thinking that I'm very much thinking that the Profundity is going to be exactly like that. However, like I wholeheartedly believe that it's going to kill someone turn 1, and then just assist out the ass and heal itself, and then if you're lucky to make it long enough to where it pops ult, it's going to kill you with max banners.
So the other thing that kind of scares me, and you kind of brought up a point that I'm glad you said, like it's going to melt somebody with the assists. It doesn't say once per turn.
What do you mean? So you're saying like if you get 18...
So it says whenever a rebel ally scores a critical hit, there is a 20% chance to call another random rebel ally to assist.
Oh yeah, because it's going to call a fuck ton of assists.
It doesn't say the Greedo no cap, but it doesn't say once per turn either.
Yeah.
So
well, I think that's why they have it at a 20% chance, because...
Right. They have to keep it low because, I mean, if you're smart and you put the Falcon in, the Falcon has a 50% chance to assist. I think that's limit once per turn, though. But then, like, let me double check before I... Let me see. No, it says the Falcon has... Oh, wait, well... Never mind. No, it is kind of once per turn, kind of. So the Falcon has a 50% chance to assist whenever an rebel ally uses an ability during their turn. So... At most, I guess you can get called to assist twice if Dash gets called twice off the special. So, but then again, when the Falcon uses its basic, it calls another random rebel ally to assist. So I mean, I don't know. I mean,
what's the most, like, if you were just to guess, what is the most possible instances of attack that you think that you could get it to do?
So if we're just trying to like win the lottery here. You
Yeah.
do unconventional maneuver. You call dash to assist um twice,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll do his basic twice, which hits 6 times. So you have 6 chances to call somebody to assist.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you could also call the Falcon to assist, which could also call Dash to assist, and then I don't know. I just feel like we're just going down a wormhole of like 50 million basics.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's like home. It feels like home one because home one, like sometimes I'll watch people and like the Y wing will do one move and it's like nobody assists, and then there's other times where it's like, it's just like the
Yeah,
4th of
dude.
July going off, and you're just like, what the hell's going on? Like they're dead. Relax.
So someone mentioned when I was doing it, there was a guy who was adamant about he's a late game player and he fucking hates ship RNG. And I imagine he's probably not going to be the biggest fan of the dodge meta that's about to start. But he
Well,
was saying
that's
that the
yeah.
the assisting RNG is going to be the downfall of this team. How much do you think the RNG on whether or not people get called to assist is going to play into this team?
Like I said, if you run the Falcon, you're going to be calling people to assist all the time because the Falcon does. The Falcon is a separate instance, separate from Profundity.
Yeah.
Profunity's got a 20% chance. The Falcon has a 50% chance already built into its kit, and then if it does get called to assist, or if you use your basic, you're guaranteeing to call someone else to assist. So I feel like if you run the Falcon, you're gonna get more assists. Without it, I mean, you never know. I mean, like I said, if you run the Ghost, let me pull up the Ghost's kit real quick. I know the Ghost can call everybody to assist. Yeah, the Ghost can call 2 rebel. Wait, hold on. Ghost goes for still 2 turns, and then call target ally and 2 allies, 2 rebel allies assisting. So I mean, I feel like I, for home one, for what your buddy said about home one, I totally agree because home one is like you're either gonna get a bunch of assists and win super easy, or you're just not gonna get them and you lose. But funny, it sounds like you're good. It sounds like you're always going to be getting assists. Like there's always going to be ways to get those extra assists. And like I said, because you have Dash there that does 3 hits on his basic,
Mm-hmm.
that's their best chance at calling it to assist. So like let's take a look at Dash actually for a second. So you call Dash to assist, let's say with the Falcon, or you call Dash to assist with the Ghost. Okay, there's 2 different ways to look at it. You either have 3 chances with 20% each, or you can look at it and say, hey, I actually have a 60% chance with 1 hit. You know what I mean? Like it's all perspective, I guess, but I don't think that's how percentages work and ratios. But my point is like I think you're good. I think you're good, and the fact that there's no bonus turn meter, like I said, that shuts like so many things down. And then you can't critically hit them. That also shuts a lot of things down.
Yeah.
Um, like it's got an anti mechanic for just about everything. I'm really hoping there's some diehard Resistance fans out there that are gonna prove that Radis is gonna counter Radis. Um, I mean, other than that, I'm
That
just I don't
Radis
know.
is going to counter Radis?
Yeah,
You mean
Holdo's
home
Radis will
one?
counter.
Oh, Holdo's Radis will counter Admiral Radis.
Yes.
Do you think that so for a while when Executor was coming out, there's a lot of people who were just like, you're just gonna have to Radis it and then clean it up. And that obviously proved to not work. Or at least, likely not work. Do you think it's finally Admiral Radis's time to die to his namesake? Do you think that sniping the Radis, do you think like you
Again,
place
we're going
Profundity
to,
and Executor on defense,
we're going
and then you
back to
two-shot your
RNG.
Executor and two-shot your Radis?
The issue with Holdo's fleet, and I'm saying Holdo's fleet for the sake of not saying Radis and confusing everybody.
Yeah.
The issue with Holdo's fleet is it does take a minute to get to that ultimate. And you do need RNG because if the Profundity is just clearing all your foresight, you're not going to get to their ultimate. And like I said, it feels like with the ideal lineup, Profundity is getting to its ultimate by like turn 3, maybe turn 4 the latest.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no coming back at that point because not only do you lose your capital ship, but you get debuffed, and the debuff they give you is so unnecessary in my opinion. But it's just like I don't know, like it's just
What debuff?
like stranded.
Oh,
So,
right, at the end. Yeah, because
yeah,
when I
so
first read that, I was like, what do you mean you can't dispel stranded? They just don't have a ship.
yeah, so basically 35% of your max health you lose at the start of the turn.
Yeah.
And um you can't recover health, can't recover protection or gain protection up. So it's literally like remember raids? Remember doing raids in this game?
No,
When you hit
no.
the enrage
Yeah,
counter,
yeah.
that's literally what this is.
Mm.
Except now you're also taking bonus damage at the start of your turn. Like it's just like
It seems
it's
it's
kind of
the most unnecessary thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
well. On top of that, you get
It's like when the
they
executor blows up your ship and stuns you. It's like, we get it. Like,
yeah, no,
we're dead. We
the
understand.
profundity also gets what's it called, plans acquired. It gets this oh, what the hell is it called? What are those abilities called? I'm like drawing a blank
Granted
here.
abilities?
Thank you. Granted, yeah. You get the granted ability that literally gives you every offense buff known to man.
Yeah.
But it's like, why do you need that? Because your entire opponent's fleet can't recover health, they're bleeding, and there's no cap ship. It's just like
Yeah. I think they just
that's
have
why
that
that's
in
why
there.
that's why I said I feel like the profundity is not going to be all up in your face with damage because I feel like
They
it's
just
just
have
going to
so many
beat you by
status effects.
it's good. Well, it's just going to beat you by getting to the ultimate, and then you're going to get all
And
this
then you're
extra
fucked.
damage to
Yeah,
finish
yeah.
you off. It's like
So it's going to be like, I don't know. It's going to be like the bounty hunters, I guess, which is ironic because that's your thing. It's like, they don't kill you by just ripping you to shreds. They kill you by popping contract super fast and then killing you, or at least killing your one very specific character that they really don't want to be alive.
well, and like I said, on top of all that, when you complete the upload the ultimate,
Mm-hmm.
you're also getting dashes done at the same time.
Yeah. I didn't
And you
even.
get all
I
of
honestly,
his
I know
fun
nothing
bonuses.
about his ship. I just thought that they had upload in there so that when something with upload came out, he would give them upload. I honestly, like, hand to God, did not know that his upload did anything for himself.
Yeah, it's hard to get because he's by himself.
Yeah.
I think I've gotten it maybe twice. And when I did get it, I was like, I didn't notice anything. I was just kind of like, oh, cool, bonuses, like, but I'm
Yeah.
already winning. Like the fight went on that long. I was like,
Yeah.
didn't really do anything. But it's like now you get that on top of.
So his upload goes towards Profundity's upload, correct?
Correct.
And how fast does he generally gain upload?
So, like I said, by himself, I've only done it twice.
Well, because
need
the
a
Profundity is
long-ass
going to give you
battle.
10% upload every single time it does anything, right? So
Correct. And the way Dash gets his upload is, it's whenever a rebel ally scores a critical hit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's trip. So you start at 0, and whenever a rebel ally scores a critical hit, you get 1% upload. However, if it's on that rebel ally's turn, if it's their turn, you triple the.
So when he's called to assist, you're getting 10% upload from Profundity. Then you're going to get
6 for the crits.
6 for the crits, assuming you crit.
And if you call anyone to assist.
Yeah. So
yeah. And then on Dash's turn, you do the
like
special,
35%
which hits.
upload.
And then on Dash's turn, you do the special 5 times. And if you land crits all 5 times, you have a 20% chance every time to call someone to assist. But since it's Dash's turn, that 5% you just got turns into 15%.
Mm.
So like I said, it's gonna come by like turn 3 or 4. It's gone. It's done.
That's a real Ideos Mio kind of world we live in.
Yeah.
It's real wild.
I guess the solution right now is just pray to God your opponent doesn't reach your ships. Just put everything in front of ships.
Yeah. I mean, luckily I farm my ships. Luckily, like a lot of people, I saw this coming a mile away. And was like,
I did not think it was gonna be JMK in space, but
I mean, it's got a relic 9 and a relic 8, and it's named after a boob. Like, come on, man, Teal. Like, the writing was on the wall. Like, I don't know where the specific wall was located, but there was writing all over it.
Boobs are pretty OP.
Boobs are pretty OP. You know what's really funny? I was at my girl's apartment the other day, right? Like I always am.
Right.
And I was just fucking around, and I saw that Mort was streaming. I didn't watch the stream, but like I hopped in the Discord to like talk shit. And afterwards, my girlfriend was like, "Didn't the titty come out today?" And I'm like, "How the fuck do you know that?" And she's like, "That's the only thing you ever talk about is the fucking titty, dude. Like I watch your streams and like
Wow.
you're always on the phone with random people, and all you ever talk about is the titty." And I'm like, "Yeah, the titty did come out today. It's awesome." And she's like, "Cool. Now shut the fuck up about it." And I'm like, "Okay." And then I just went to sleep and slept for like 12 hours. But I mean, I've been enthusiastic about it.
Yeah. Well, that name is pretty.
It's a
Pretty
pretty great
baller, I'm
name.
not gonna lie. Yeah.
Like, I think that was the most obvious thing to me was that they gave it a funny name, i.e., it has to be amazing. But it's out, or at least it's out. Is it out Friday or tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Shit, I'm
I,
busy
I
tomorrow.
I believe it comes out around noon, even though I don't see the event. I thought it was supposed to come out tomorrow. Yeah.
I don't know why I thought it was gonna come out Friday. Fuck, I'm gonna be busy. I'm seeing Filthy Frank tomorrow. If you know Joji.
Uh, where are you seeing him at?
He just has like a random pop up that like no one knows about, but like one of our distant friends just like happened to know a guy to know a guy to know a guy who was like, "Oh shit, like he's doing this in like some small dingy basement at like 2 a.m."
Fuck, that
And
sounds kind of weird.
yeah, my girlfriend is like, "Don't you like Filthy Frank?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Let's go." So I bought tickets.
Oh,
Yes, that should
to
be fun.
someone's basement.
Well, to the basement of like a nightclub to see
Oh,
a
okay.
super popular artist like do some new material or something. I don't know.
New material, dude.
Should be fun. Like I said, it's not like a prestigious event. It's just like
He's there.
super low key. Like he's just like test. It's like you know when like random comedians will just show up to a random comedy club just to like try out new jokes. It's like that. I think.
Wait, are you saying you're in the beta tester's environment for comedy?
Yeah, I'm a beta tester.
Oh, oh, that's pretty cool.
Capital Games would never let me, but here we are.
But you're beta testing for comedy.
I'm beta testing for music.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he's a musician. I mean, he was a comedian. I think he was like one of the bigger YouTubers, like way back in the OG days of YouTube. He was fucking
Yeah,
gigantic.
yeah.
Filthy Frank was the man. I mean, it was kind of gross when he would like eat his own vomit in form of cake, but you know, it was pretty lit.
Well, they don't call him Filthy Frank because he's clean.
That is a good point. Actually,
So,
I got to message my guy. I'm doing day one titty testing tomorrow. I got to make sure that
what what do you think we're supposed? What do you think we're gonna get with the road ahead? Road ahead is 2-3 weeks out.
I think they're gonna say all the shit that we talked about a while ago, and they're like, "Hey, it's finally gonna come in 3 weeks when the title update comes out." Like, I don't think. I mean, I think there's gonna be a TB. I think there's gonna be one thing that we didn't know about, or not that we didn't know about it, but that we didn't expect. It's like we're always predicting random shit, right? If you
Yeah.
watch any YouTube, the only thing that ever happens, the only thing that's there's three things that are true in life: death, taxes, and the fact that we will speculate about fucking stupid shit all the time. All right, so I think we're gonna get one of those things that just completely comes out of left field. I think we're gonna get all the quality of life that they've been quote unquote working on these past little while, and then I think we're gonna get a TB and maybe like the third Java rec and you know a teaser about Red 5.
And
And
you're missing one thing that we've been talking about all year. And
the
it
no
got data mined hell early. Got data mined around like April or May.
the Ravenger.
No, Relic 10?
Oh, Relic 10, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I thought you were leading me towards a cup Omicron or no cap Greedo Omicron, where they just take away the no cap and it's just cap because he's putting a cap in people's asses. You know, did you hear my prediction for a Greedo potential Greedo Omicron? I
What's
think
that?
my prediction was it's just called shoots first, and it's just a mirror image of Han's unique that lets him shoot first.
If he got an Ami, I wrote something down a long time ago. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I was like, it'd be nice if like, it would be nice if like, he had an Ami where like anytime a scoundrel character attacks an enemy with a thermal detonator, he has a 100% chance to assist.
Interesting.
Because his kit is kind of a paradox. You read his basic and it's like, oh, deal extra crit damage to enemies with thermals. Oh, that's awesome. That's what I want to do.
But no
And
one
then
has thermals.
his special's like throw thermals and then blow them up so you get turd meter. And it's like, okay, well,
I
I
didn't do my
want
extra damage.
right, exactly. Yeah, and that's on a cooldown of like 4 or 5. It's brutal. And then
Mm.
his special's awesome. His special's great. It's like, I think it's one of the best moves in the whole game. It's just unfortunate it's on one of the worst characters in the game. Um, so yeah, his kit's a little weird. But if they had something where like he assists with characters that have thermals, that would be
I
cool.
mean,
Because then it's like
a
if he
Relic
assists and he
6
crits,
Greedo assisting is wild and wacky.
if he assists and crits, he has a chance to assist again. You know what I mean? It's
I
like,
mean, theoretically, has a chance to assist unlimited amounts of time.
right, he could kill everybody in the game.
Dude, he could be the profundity of characters. Like we're thinking of the profundity as JMK with wings, but what if the profundity is really just Greedo with wings? Or Greedo is just the profundity without wings? Like what if we're
I
thinking about
mean,
this all the wrong way? Is what I'm trying to say.
we probably are. I'm usually wrong like 100% of the time.
100% of the time I'm wrong, 30% of the time.
Yes,
Something like that.
something like that.
Something like that.
I'm surprised Savage got an Omni. I looked at it and I was like, it's interesting. Savage is a very weird character. I've always looked at him as a tank because
Yeah.
he doesn't do any damage, and they gave him a taunt. They gave him an Omicron lets him taunt, which is like, oh, okay, weird. But the dude's not a tank; he's an attacker. If you look at his
Yeah.
stats at like R9, it's like this dude has like nothing. He's bare like just nothing.
Yeah.
Um, Kind of a weird Nami.
It is a
I'd
weird
be shocked.
Omicron.
And then on top of that, like where the hell do you put him? I feel like at the
My
top of
first thought was put him at gear 12 with my gear 12 triumvirate so that like now like even Relic 8 trio or Relic 8 Geos can't beat them. Cuz like
maybe
the one weakness of like a full R7 Geo team versus like a 3-man gear 12 triumvirate is Spy accidentally sniping Nihilus
Freya or
or
Nihilus.
Trey
Yeah,
like sniping anyone.
yeah. I mean, like that's the thing. Like I don't know where you put him because it's just like there's not enough Sith in the game right now. Like Malgus is stealing like pretty much everybody that's named Sith Empire.
Yeah.
Um,
And
Lord
even
Vader
some that
doesn't
aren't
count,
Sith.
and even
Still,
yeah, even some that aren't Sith Empire. Yeah, Talon. Your Triumvirate. I don't know what's on that team, but yeah, I guess you could stick with the Triumvirate. But it's just like, man, I feel like there's like no Sith right now in the game.
yeah. I mean, there's plenty. It's just there's not a lot that are
Yeah, Dooku, Maul,
fantastic.
If anything, Darth Maul. I'm surprised Darth Maul's got an army yet. Like that dude needs help.
Yeah. I mean, they gave him an Omicron. It's called his new character. It's called Actual Maul.
He has a new character instead of a Kron. Yeah.
I mean, that's the new meta. It's not like everyone's looking at it the wrong way. It's like it's
Well,
not
speaking
giving
of
characters
armies,
Omicrons or reworks. It's just
I'm
giving them a better
almost
version.
I'm almost done with TW armies.
Oh, I thought you meant TW. Like you somehow beat the game. Like you're like
Oh yeah. I'm also there.
I've done
I'm like that Bowser.
69 consecutive TW victories.
I'm about to fight Bowser in TW. I'm
Yeah.
almost done. Yeah.
It's time to
No,
retire.
I'm getting pretty close to finishing my TW armies. I think I'm missing like 1 or 2 left. And that's it.
That's fucking ridiculous. I have
It's
zero
fucking
of them.
awesome, dude. It's fucking awesome, dude. I love it. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know. It's because I've been hanging out with Loki too much, or GEC has no rewards behind it other than crystals, which you get over time.
Yeah.
Because I really don't spend this game anymore. I'm just like I just can't see myself spending it. The only time I think I'm going to spend on this game is when Jabba's Rex come out, and then like I need a whale on like the marquees. And I'll be like, all right, I'll just
Yeah,
get the
you
marquees out of shipments because it's cheaper to do shipments instead of buying the packs. In case
Yeah.
anybody didn't know that. But like I don't know, like the TW armies are all busted. There are so like I think TW
I
has
feel like they have to be because not no one, but objectively less people like TW than GAC.
yes, that is exactly I wholeheartedly agree. I agree. I completely agree that that is the reason. And also, if you've noticed, I feel like GC Omicrons have a short lifespan now. And what I mean by that is Wampa. And this may not this may not be for everybody, but like I've been watching a lot of like, the top GC streamers, Azereth, Solo, Gom.
I mean, to be fair, nothing has a long, except for JMK, and even now to a lesser extent. Because
no, what I'm saying is like
nothing has a long. Nothing has.
I'm saying the lifespan of GAC Amis versus GAC Amis.
GAC versus TW, right?
Son of a bitch. Yes, thank you. Long day. GAC versus TW. A lot of people are starting to put Wampa-proof boards down. Like, there's just nothing to Wampa anymore. Like, some people are using Wampa as like they're a cleanup for something, which I guess is still a good use. But it's just like, like the Iden Ami. I kind of regret that one. The Krennic Ami, I don't regret it because it's a meme, and we don't regret memes.
Because memes oftentimes become dreams, as we're aware.
That is true. But I mean, it's just like the TW Amis, like none of them are, like, I mean, there's some bad ones. Like, don't get me wrong, there's some bad ones. Poor Farm Boy, that thing got nerfed before we even got it. Aren't the Phoenix even at R7, the Hera Ami, just I fought so many of those, and every time I beat them, I cry because I'm like, man, I want to do that team so bad. I'm just like,
well,
the Ami sucks. Well, now I can, now I can the Pro Friendly, right? I mean, there's a handful of bad ones out there. All the Inquisitor leads, obviously, minus Grand Inquisitor. But but I just feel like the TW Amis, like, you're gonna get more miles out of those.
Here's the thing that I've always said about Omicrons, because I feel like that's a very common. People are like, oh, I don't want to apply something that's not going to be useful. It's like, if you can get use out of it while you have it, like, it's worth it, right? Like, you're never going to be able to compete with the people with money. Like, because my audience is mostly early mid-game free-to-play people, right?
Yeah.
So I generally talk to a specific group of people that kind of doesn't fall into the category of people you're describing. And they're a lot of times they're like, oh, I don't want to apply the Wampa Omicron for that reason. Like, what if my opponents don't play something that my Wampa can beat? But if you can get use out of it for 3 months and it leads to more Dubberuskis, it was worth it. It's like Moneyball. It's like, this guy's not fucking, whoever the good guy.
Runs.
Yeah, it wasn't the guy.
GAC wins that we need to buy.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how I look at GAC. Fuck, dude, my Ewoks just died. That's exactly how I look at it. It's like, if I can combine all of the things that give me a higher, let's just call it war. I'll just call it door, dubs above replacement, dur. If I can get all the characters that give me the most dur, then I've constructed a good roster. And if you like Dar. Oh, sorry, I don't know why. You know how it's war? It makes like an sound. Yes. I just brain farted and put U instead of A for above.
Yes.
I'm a fucking idiot. Dar. If you can get more Dar for like applying the Wampa Omicron for a couple months than you could doing something else, it's worth it. Because if you keep doing that, eventually you will construct, the perfect roster. It's like people are always like confused when I do stuff. Like, I didn't farm the first 2 GLs that were out, and I didn't farm the second 2 GLs that were out. I could have, but I was like, hey, I got some other stuff, and this is going to take forever. And then eventually JMK came out after I had constructed a solid roster. I got JMK. He was the best GL, still the best GL. After that, I did some more stuff, did some good ships, got some more Dar. Got JML, more Dar. Now I'm getting the Titty, more Dar. I'm going to do Starkiller, Malgus after that.
I swear, every time you say Dar, it sounds like the acronym of like the stat on the back of a baseball card. Like, like
it is. It's war. Stats. War is wins above replacement. It's just dubs above replacement. Like, I'm looking at Galaxy of Heroes. Like,
what's your OBS for your?
Yeah, dude.
Like, what's your OBS for your GLs? Like,
I mean, dude, I got OBS and OPS, baby. I got OBS open right now, but that's what I'm saying is, like, if you can get, like, if you care about GAC and do not care about TW, then TW Omicrons are worthless, right? The same way that if you care about TW and not GAC.
The only reason I preach TW is because, like I said, I have a really good feeling that they're going to put Relic 10 behind GAC.
Yeah. But then if you win your GAC, you get crystals, and you just buy the Relic 9 materials.
Also, to your point about the crystals, now that Profundity is coming out tomorrow, I am literally waiting for CG, like literally next week or the week after, to be like, we're moving fleet crystals now.
Yeah.
After you guys wailed on profundity, we're removing fleet crystals, and you know what? We're gonna stick them in TW.
Oh, that
It's
would
like,
suck.
well, they're not gonna put them in GAC. They're not gonna put them in GAC. I don't think you double down and be like, hey, if you win, you get 1,800 crystals, and if you lose,
That
too
would really
bad.
suck. I would hate that
Like,
because
you know what I mean? Like,
I'm getting squill. I don't know if you are also like everyone's getting skill squished right now. Even like Calvin and like
I
even
don't think
Arnold's getting
I don't
skill
think it's
squished.
necessarily people getting skill squished.
Well,
It's
I'm
mainly like
definitely getting skill squished because I was in
so.
Kyber 3. Kyber 1 and Kyber 2 got skill squished, right? They're shrinking. I was facing at 5 million. Well, now I'm 5.5 because I just applied a fuck ton of relics today. I went up like 200k
Yeah.
GP. But I was facing 5 to 5.3 million. That was me. I was facing 8 millions plus, and they were bad.
So I
Now I'm
think it's
facing 7.7s, and they have all the GLs, and they're actually good. Like they're not making mistakes that my opponents were making.
so let me elaborate on like what's happening here. And this is gonna sound completely nonsensical, make no sense.
All right.
But in my opinion, there are more people in the top 1,000 now than there are 2-3 months ago. Which sounds stupid because you can only have 1,000 players in the top 1,000. But what I mean by that is a lot of people like at the top, like where Loki was at,
Have
have
multiple
been
accounts.
taking. Well, yeah, either A, have multiple accounts, or B, what's happening is a lot of players are getting burnt out. And a lot of players are like, I'm taking time off. I'm taking weeks off. So what that does is that kind of like that person's spot. Let's just say Loki, like for example, Loki's in like rank 50, okay, and whenever he joins again, he's gonna go on the biggest win streak ever because I think he's
Oh,
in
yeah.
Kyber 2.
Yeah, which is ridiculous because he's 10 million GP.
um, so you let's say I'm in the top 50. And I'm so sick and tired of GC. I have to spend hundreds of dollars to compete against everyone in the top 50, and some people are even cheating up there. That's a whole nother discussion. And I'm fighting the same people over and over, and I have to put so much extra work and stress. You know what happens? People get burnt out, and they say, "I'm going to take a break. I'm not going to sign up for a week." Or you know what? I'm just going to start going. I'm just going to go on a losing streak. Who really gives a shit? It's just crystals.
Yeah.
So what that does is you are kind of compromising the integrity of the skill rating in the top 1,000 because now you're allowing like one extra person to go up, and yeah, it's just one person, but I feel like a lot of people, and not just in the top 50. I'm talking like the top couple hundred, top 500. Like I wasn't. Tell me if this makes sense. I went 0-3 last week. I just had a rough week. I fought like 3 dudes from Ma or Ka or combined, whatever. Anyways, um, I was going into last week in like the top 450, so top 500.
Yeah.
I went 0-3. I ended up at like 1,100 or 1,200. I'm just like, how do I drop that much from 3 battles? I was
Yeah.
just like, whatever.
What,
I mean,
what was your
I
skill
really don't
rating
care
before?
because, huh?
What were you going from? You were going from what to what?
450 to like and
1200?
I think I ended up like 1,100, 1,200 or something like that. Yeah, I was just like, how did I drop that far after 3 battles? I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So I was just like, wow, that's a huge drop off. But it's just like it just kind of proves my point that like a lot of people are like right there at the doorstep of that top 1,000 because a lot of people's skill ratings are like neck and neck. And I think what's happening is like when people take time off or people go on a big losing streak, it just kicks them down to like where you and maybe some of your viewers are at.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's what I think is happening.
this is a theory that I've had for a while that I've talked about kind of only on stream. I don't know if I've made a video on it or not, but there's like I call it the doorstep, right? Like you said, people on the doorstep. Like I was in Kyber 4 for the longest time, and the second I unlocked JML, I walked right into Kyber 3, no problem. Like I was on the doorstep. I was like one completed farm away. And if I had gone Star Killer and, wailed out on Maul, I probably would have passed through the doorway sooner, but with like, I would have had less. It would have been less of a dramatic entrance, you know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of the time there's those players who are hovering, waiting for someone like you said to stop caring and start to fall, or they unlock the next thing that they need. And then like every so often, every time some good player does something, like there's just a gigantic shift of these 10 people who are on the doorstep just walk in and kick the 3 people or the 10 people that they faced who stopped caring. They just kick them out.
Yeah.
They're just gone.
Or
right?
or what happens a lot, and this happens a lot, like where I'm at is people retire.
Yeah.
But
and give their accounts, and then the player that they give it to sucks ass.
They don't hand it off to someone that sucks ass. They just hand it off to somebody like, here's my account just for TW.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, I don't have the time to manage 2 GAC accounts, so I'm just gonna use your account for TW because you have everything, and it's like
Yeah.
it's a great account. And if you come back to the game, it's sitting right here for you. So that's what happens to a lot of people. And then 3v3 is also an issue.
3v3 oftentimes has it because
3v3 I think is what's causing you and a lot of people like the lower ranks to run into like these bigger accounts, because a lot of people just hate 3v3 and just flat up just either don't care, they don't sign up. But like and when people don't sign up, it's
you skyrocket, like, dude. 3v3 you fucking skyrocket.
Yeah, and then everyone signs up back up for 5s, and it's like, you know, it's almost like if I step out of line but I hold my spot, and then a bunch of people move up in line, and then I go, all right, well, I'm coming back in for 5s, and it's like, oh, where the fuck did you come from? It's like, well, I've been here the whole time, I just haven't been playing for 3s. And CG, like I said, like that's why they need to do something for GAC, because 3v3, and I don't even know if I'm gonna sign up for 3s this time. Like 3s was such a miserable experience for me last time. I mean,
you'll sign up for free crystals,
but I get crystals daily anyways.
Yeah, but you get more crystals.
Yeah, but then I have to worry about GAC.
No, you don't. You just gotta do one battle 3 times a week.
No, I'm saying I don't have to worry about GAC if I don't sign up.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm saying you still don't really have to worry about it. Like, you still just have to, like, within 48 hours, click one button.
You fall less if you don't sign up, though. That's the other enticing part. It's like if I'm like trying to climb higher, if like I'm trying to get up there, you know, the top 100.
Oh, because you're not losing.
I don't want to drop.
You're not losing. You're just not participating.
Right. So the only reason I fall is because other people are passing me.
Yeah.
And it's like 3v3 is such a headache, so it's like it's almost like that sounds like
Wouldn't that be hilarious if you're like in the Olympics and you're in like a fucking 100-meter sprint or just any race, right?
Yeah.
And you take an early lead and then you just stop. And it's like, well, you didn't beat me. Like, I just wasn't participating. Like, you have to beat me to be the champion. Like, you're the reigning champion.
I thought you were gonna say like stop halfway through the track, wait for the next race to start, and then start running again.
No. It's like if Conor McGregor, when he had the belt, like just didn't fight ever. It's like, you can't take my belt. I didn't lose. It just didn't fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like what Mayweather did for a while. It's like that's what GAC is now for a lot. It's just like, you can't jump me if I'm not there to be jumped. Yeah, I didn't actually
know. You're the one
know.
moving, not me. I didn't move.
Yeah.
The Earth moves around me.
Like... Exactly. I am the center of the universe, you fuckers. Oh man. GAC is a little like, dude, this is caught on. I say this all the time, and only recently have people started making fun of me. I say a little wild and a little wacky. I say wild and wacky all the fucking time. And now all of a sudden in the comment section, it's like a huge thing. Everyone's just like, oh, he said it. He said wild and wacky. Oh my God, it's the greatest day of my fucking life. I'm going to go ask out that girl at school. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why. Yeah, she's going to reject you. Fuck, dude, I just got a new galaxy. Does that mean it's 11 o'clock? Dude, it's 9:25. August still could be burning red, Van Seal.
It could be burning red.
Thoughts on August potentially burning red now that we're closer to midnight?
I'm more focused on September burning autumn.
Or wake me up when September ends.
Or October burning orange.
Because you're skipping 3v3. So I guess I just have to wake you up when September ends so you can rejoin 5v5 Grand Arena. How's that sound?
Possibly. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, like I said, they got to do something with GAC because, like I said, the participation issue with 3s. If they're gonna, like I said, if they were gonna bring 3s back, they had to do something to entice people. But still, people just hate it.
Why did they bring it back? It was always abysmal.
Okay, I actually preferred 3s. I actually preferred 3s over 5s when we had the rotation. I thought 3s was a lot more fun and entertaining and just a lot more theory crafting and just, you know, it was a little bit more like.
I mean, I know why they brought it back.
I always compared 3 as like the unranked mode of GAC, and 5v5 is like the ranked mode where like you try. Yeah. But you're still ranked, so that doesn't help. But
it's like when you go into
the reason I hated 3s was the scale of datacrons. Like datacrons obviously have a big factor in the game.
That's why they brought it back.
But the scale of datacrons in 3v3 is just like,
it's insane.
I really do believe, like I was really crossing my fingers, like if they're bringing 3v3 back, ban GLs. And then, you know, the thing is, if you ban GLs, you know, we've only had like one ban in this game. Where like we had a TW one time, a long time ago. I don't know if you were here for that, but
I was not.
The community, there was like
voted on it, right? And they just
there was like a set of characters. Like here's set 1. It's got like crew, Night Sister Zombie. It's got like key characters, like random key characters, like not a whole faction, but it's like a couple characters, and the other one would have like B1 and Droideka. It's like
Yeah.
the other one might have Jedi Luke. So it's like, okay, which ones are we banning? And I thought that was super fun because what that did was it forced you to not use traditional leads. It's like, oh, I don't have crew lead because we voted him out.
But the
All right, I'm
problem
gonna have to use
is,
Phasma.
what if you spend all your money on C and someone votes to
That's what
spend
people
C?
were bitching about. People were like, "Oh my god, I bought this character and I spent money and I can't use the character." It's like, God, it's just for fun. And they even said it's just for one time. It's a temporary thing. Dude, people hated it so much they just outright apologized the next day and were like, "All right, it'll never happen again. We're so sorry. Like, forgive us, please. It was a stupid idea. We fired the guy who came up. I mean, they didn't really do that, but it's just
Yeah.
like CJ just like I was just like, dude, it's your game. If you want to do that, do it. But I'm like that's what I'm saying. Like,
But
if
this is one of the
GLs
games
were
where
banned,
you can't really do that. Like other
but you do
games where
that.
you
Yes, you do though. Yes, they do. That's the thing. You have light side TB. You have dark side TB. You have 3v3 and 5v5.
but you go
Where
into light side and dark side TB knowing the rules.
yeah, but I mean, I'm not saying for them to ban random characters. I'm just saying for 3v3, ban GLs. Ban GLs and threes. They are those characters were not designed for 3v3. I mean, this whole game wasn't designed for 3v3, but like
I do
GLs
agree that
are
GLs are way
are
too
a
strong on
problem.
3v3.
Yeah, and then you give them a Datacron. Doesn't even matter what Datacron it is. If you give them more stats and mechanics on top of the ones they already have, they're just not killable.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and that's what makes 3v3 so unfun is because there's a lot of people that go in they don't have everything.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
like, oh,
95%
my
of
opponent's
players.
Yes, but in 5v5, there are alternative solutions, and I feel like in 5v5 you might have a chance. In threes, I feel like you don't have a chance. In
In
threes,
5v5,
it's just like
you can two-shot every Galactic Legend.
just about. Yeah, in threes, you
I mean,
can.
I couldn't because I didn't bring any of my GL counters. I got absolutely fucked by Lord Vader, but that's a different
Right.
story.
And the thing is, in fives, I would argue that the counters to GLs are a lot easier to obtain versus the counters in threes against GLs are very, very, very niche, and it's just not good.
Yeah.
It's like why would I just get this counter just for threes? You know what I mean? It's like I'd rather have a counter for fives and see what I have left
Well,
for
I mean,
threes.
here's the thing about counters in threes versus fives, and this is gonna be obvious to everyone: is the game's all about synergy, and we have more characters. There's more synergy. The synergy is what kills GLs, except in Fennec's case, where it's just punching really hard. Like Fennec and Dark Trooper are the exception because they love their fists or their
But
feet.
Dark Trooper is not killing GLs though.
I know, but you can punch Sith Eternal Emperor in the face if you've killed all his ads, which is something
Possibly,
that I do.
yeah.
With
Possibly.
like one relic on that team. I do it every time.
I don't know. I just
or whatever.
like
But the point I'm trying to make is like it's much easier to kill things if you have an entire team working together than if you have 3 people working together.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Now, and CG wants to bring in lifter tunes for all the Galactic Legends. So imagine
they're just doing that to get people that keep farming Rey.
Just imagine the end of the year where we have a lifter tune for every GL. It's like, what do you do in threes now? It's like they literally just made the problem worse. That's what I'm just saying. Like, just ban GLs, just get rid of them in threes, and I think that'd be a much healthier environment. Because then what's going to happen is I think people that don't have everything might actually look forward to 3v3 because then it's like, oh, like it'll be somewhat of an even playing field because I don't have to worry about my opponent having GLs and I don't have GLs. I mean, you still have like Malgus and Starkiller, which are GLs kind of in themselves, but it's like those characters aren't invincible, especially in threes.
Hear me out here. I did a video on this the other day. Actually, I'm gonna check the comment section of that video just to see how well it was reviewed or received. But I did a video called "The Only Actual Problem in Star Wars: Galaxy of Heroes." All right. Well, it has a 99% like ratio, so I'm assuming people enjoyed the video. The only actual problem, as far as GAC is concerned, or just is that the matchmaking is uneven. Like all the problems with GLs and no GLs don't exist if there isn't like my GAC, where there's just he's 2+ million GP more than me. I have 2 GLs. He has 5. Like if his account was anywhere similar to mine, and it was actually skill based and not money based matchmaking, the problem of me having to kill GLs, and this is honestly just my fault. I just placed everything on defense, so I'm a fucking idiot. But like Datacrons being super uneven for people is mostly due to some people have way more R5s and R3s than other people. Right? At the end game, it's all about money, but the mid game, it's all about teams. me not being able to kill his fucking 5 GLs is just a product of he's been playing way longer than I have. So I didn't have time to get the teams that could beat that. Like, if you start 2 brand new accounts, one goes for all the good teams, the core 8, and one rushes a GL, and they face each other, every month, the team that didn't go for the GL is going to win 100% of the time for probably ever, right? So it's not a problem of beating the GL, and the GL is the problem. The problem is the discrepancy in the galactic power of the accounts, like making it so that it's not just that you can't beat the GL, it's that you can't beat the GL and he's got everything fucking else and you just don't, right? Like, you can't have the big stuff and everything else.
I mean, in my situation, there's still I have all the GLs my opponent has. Maybe he has more teams than I do. Maybe I have more teams than he does. We went through different routes, but I still feel like maybe I just suck. But
it's just different at the end game.
I was gonna say, like, I still can't kill GLs though.
Well, I'm saying
I still can't kill them. Like,
I mean, a lot of that comes down to, like, are you placing the counters on defense, right?
Yeah, I am, but I mean, like, there's such a problem. It's just like, it's such a.
I agree. GLs are stupid in 3v3. Like, they are fucking abysmally
they're just
bad.
Such a problem. Like, I wish if CG were just, I mean, they're gonna keep them obviously, but almost like, I wish they had like some sort of like status effect where, like, while in 3v3 they lose their unique mechanic. Something where it's like, something where it's like they're crippled somewhat.
I mean, just make GAC Omicrons work against GLs in 3v3. Like fucking Qui-Gon's Omicron.
Well, even in 3s, that's not gonna do shit.
Well, I'm saying the increased offense would at least help. But I'm saying, like, if they add a 3v3 fucking Omicron, like the Tuscan Omicron, like we get Red 5 Rebel Pilot Luke with his Biston and like the thing I mentioned every single time we talk.
We're not getting Rebel Pilot Luke. They're gonna make us Europe farm boy.
Yeah, probably. But anyway, like, they could just add 3v3 fucking Omicrons at BGL. The problem is just 3v3 sucks. Is the problem. It exists only so that you have to farm more Datacrons than you actually need. That's the sole reason that they brought it back, in my
Unless
opinion.
you ignore the game mode completely.
Yeah, but that's, I mean,
you still farm Datacrons for TW though. So I mean, like, that's literally only I only farm Datacrons for TW, and it's like, if I just so happen I can use them in GAC, I'll use them in GAC. But I'm just like, yeah, but I've given up the Datacron chase. I'm like, every set. Well, now I'll have way more time because they pretty much screwed the life cycle on Datacrons. What is it?
Yeah, but I mean, you're gonna get them a lot less, dude. Can we talk about that post? That was the most disingenuous thing I've ever read in my entire life.
The Datacron post.
Like, I felt like
the Q&A where they're asking people, like, I don't know what to do with my Datacrons. I got too many.
Like, I didn't feel like I was getting choked. Like, I wasn't choking on dick. Like, it was in my mouth. I feel like they actually got a dick and were choking me outside with it. Like, it was worse. Like, it wasn't that I was suffocating because it was in my mouth. It was that they were actually strangling me with the dick.
You're talking about the Datacron poster, right?
Yeah, where they're like, we read you. Here's our response to your feedback. And I was like, who did you ask?
Pull that up. Yeah, dude, I feel like they asked, like...
My first thing was like,
somebody's little sister that just started playing the game. Like,
did you see the video Arnold did with his little brother and his little sister? Where, like,
no, I did not.
Okay, he posted a video where he was just too lazy to play his GAC, so let his siblings play, and they're young, like real young.
Yeah.
My first intuition was that they're like, all right, in order to make amends with Arnold, we're just gonna let his siblings decide what to do with TW, and they're like, oh, where do I get the materials? I was just like, who did they fucking ask? Like, can you pull it up? Like, I'll close BlueStacks.
Yeah, I'm looking at the quotes
computer
right now. It's like, Datacrons need to have a longer life set. I feel like I don't get a chance to use them after upgrading. That I will kind of attest to. That I can kind of agree with because...
But that's just a product of TW and GAC don't happen often enough.
Well, no. I was going to say that's just because we have shorter GAC seasons.
Yeah, which I think...
I feel like if we had a 4th week of GAC, you can completely get rid of that quote. You can say Datacron's lifespan, like, it's too short. If we had a 4th week, I'd feel like it's fine. But yeah, I can understand. It does feel like it's like once you're done farming, it's like, oh, conquest is over. I'm done farming, and I kind of want to, like, round things out and kind of, like, rough out the edges here and, just finish the Datacrons I'm working on. It's like by the time you do that, there's like literally a week and a half left to GAC. It's just like,
Which post was it? Was it the Java set 2 requirement post?
after it's a Datacron set 4 feedback response information.
I don't know why I can't see it. It's like it was deleted from I swear to God.
I clicked on it.
Swago Events fucking deleted it, dude.
Maybe it's with all the missing mods.
Dude, there's some like fucking collusion going on right now.
All right, the next one is we have 3 sets live, but it's very confusing to know where to invest or which to use. There's a lot going on. Right, I love the last part. There's a lot going on. Yes, I will agree. There is 3 sets live. Like, I'm not gonna fight you on that. It's very confusing to know where to invest. You know what? Maybe you shouldn't be using Datacrons the first 6 months you've been playing the game.
Yeah.
Which to use? Honestly, that literally just screams, I didn't read them. I'm too lazy to read them, or I just can't read.
I just leaked my DMs.
Porn.
Yeah, straight up porn.
Sweet.
What was I saying? The only like thing that I don't know if they even talked about it, that I will say is legitimate criticism is the fact that they are complicated. Like, I can understand that there are, or appreciate that there are people who just don't want to remember kits plus zetas plus omicrons plus datacrons.
Then don't. Like, so this next one, I have so many datacrons that I don't or can't invest in due to sheer volume. Then just straight up don't. If you
that is something that I took great offense to. Because you can't do fucking reroll mats, and the rerolls are so expensive. You have to have a fuck ton of omicron or datacrons in order to get good ones.
No, the way I read that is I
fucking
have
expensive
so many
to reroll to get good ones
that I don't or can't invest in them. To me, I read that as I have so many datacrons, I can't do them all. No, you're not. If you look at my game inventory, like in the inventory right now for set 3, I have 4 level 9s, and that's it. Everything else is a 0. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 levels. I have like 15 or 16 level 0s.
I feel like they looked at our accounts and they're like, they have 30 zeros. They need to upgrade them. That's a problem. Like, that's...
No, they just sit there because like, they don't do anything.
I fully expect them to drop a post like, hey, we heard your feedback. You don't have enough places to use your sim tickets. So here's a new gear piece that will be required for everything. It will cost 1 million sim tickets per thing, and you can't buy it unless you use real money. Like, it's such pointless. Like, I don't know. So this is the first thing that came to my mind, or not the very first thing, because the very first thing that came to my mind was like an aggressive eye roll. But the second thing that came to my mind is that who are you talking to, right? Like, there's what? Let's just round up and say there's about 500,000 unique players who will click on the game once a month, right?
Sure.
Right. I think those were the numbers that were talked about a couple months ago when someone did some report. Only about 50,000 of them will watch.
Boot for any of our Canadian listeners.
A boot, yes. I was about to go out to the house and I saw a moose, so I went back into the house. Like 50,000 people will go to Twitch or YouTube in a week, right? Maybe 75,000 in a month. And not at the same time. These are like unique viewers, so like oftentimes, you know what I mean? How many people are on the fucking forums? It's only the people who are
not a whole
super
lot,
invested.
Like the forum communities is getting smaller every
It's like 25 people.
Yeah.
Right? Like, whenever I look at the comments, it's always the same 10 people that I see. I'm like...
I don't go on the forums anymore because nothing I ever post ever got uploaded. It always got taken down. I'm just
I don't mean the forums. I mean, like, actually reading the forum posts.
Oh, actually go there and read it. Oh, okay.
Like, the only people that read it are content creators or people who just, like, want to look at the pictures for themselves. But, like, the point I'm trying to make is...
I would say people in Discord. When you get your notifications.
Okay, but of the 500,000 people who are playing this game, what percentage of that do you think go there? Like
10,000.
10,000 is way too high. 10,000 is way too fucking high. In my, I like
9,900.
Whatever the number is, it's a very specific audience of people who know, like, are invested enough in this game to look at a fucking forum post, right? They're talking to the people who, Like, this is like a slap in the face. Like, if you're giving a message to a toddler, but you tell it to their parents like you're talking to the toddler. It's like, oh, well, today at class. I'm like, no, I'm a human being. I'm an adult. I know what I'm talking about. You talk to me like a human being, not like a child. Well, I guess children are human beings. But, like, I wish that there was, like, any semblance of intellect in this post whatsoever. Or they didn't just assume that we were the fucking idiots.
Like, the last quote is, I never really understood where I got materials for Datacrons. Has that been made easier? That just, like, that's the one that triggered me. That's the one I was just like, what? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Is like the people who are reading this are people
we
who
couldn't click on the stupid materials to see where to go, and they gave that to us. It's like, if you don't know where to get Datacron materials, you clearly don't know how to play this game. That means you don't know where to get shards. You don't know how to get shit.
You don't know how to get anything.
You couldn't find your ass with two hands and a proctologist. Like, you are just lost.
I think when I did the live reaction of this, that's the first thing I said was, like, not the first thing, because I keep saying the first thing I said, but when I read this, I literally out loud expressed, I was like, that's how you find everything. Like, if you can't find Datacrons, you can't find anything in this game. You can't find a single character, you can't find a single ship, a gear piece, an event, a G8, like, the game is literally, like, honestly, you click on something, and you click it, and it takes you to where it is.
I wouldn't be surprised if they asked the Marvel Strike Force player this question. That's probably why they couldn't find Datacron materials.
Or they just asked the new fucking Lord of the Rings community manager that they're hired but won't tell us about. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, oh, let's go to the HOM-E forums, because that's the only place that they hang out, right? They have an official forum or Discord for the HOM-E.
Well, they probably just went there. The HOM-E players aren't toxic, so.
Yeah. Well, they're the HOM-E players who are also SWGO players are really toxic. The HOM-E players who aren't SWGO players are sheep. It's rough, dude. Like, hey, I go through there, and they're like, I'm super excited. Like, yeah, it's rough. It's bad. Yeah.
Rest in peace, HOM-E. Rest in peace.
Yeah, long may she reign. But yeah, I don't want to waste too much blood pressure medication on this, but I just wanted to acknowledge in some sort of official non-live stream medium that this was the dumbest thing that I've ever seen for any video game ever in my entire life.
It's up there, man. It's just, and you know, the thing is too is so there's, you know, everyone's got pros and cons for opinions on everything. I liked how fast Datacrons were because I was like very curious to see like all the different mechanics they have planned for us. Like when they data mined all the different factions, I was like, holy shit! Like there's going to be so many different mechanics, so many different factions. Like I'm just curious and excited. Like maybe you know, I'm not going to get them all, obviously, but I was just like very curious and excited. Now, all that shit got delayed. It's all got pushed back because now we're only going to run 2 sets at 4-month periods, which kind of like contradicts what Datacrons were supposed to be in the first place. Datacrons were supposed to be that, you know, make GAC unique, make it where it's like not every counter works. You know, it's a very liquid meta where it's not going to be the same teams all the time, or the same teams aren't going to behave the same. And if we're going from 3 sets every 3 months to 2 sets every 4 months, that just feels like we're going backwards.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like we're just going to like we're going to have 3 metas a year now, basically.
Well, I mean, it's just like the point you mentioned earlier with the shelf life of GAC Omicrons. It's just like they're just now gigantic, really, really expensive GAC Omicrons that work for 3 months at a time or 4 months at a time.
So like I said, like when I farm my Datacrons, I don't spend. I just go Conquest. I get whatever I get from Conquest. I will re-roll as much as the game gives me, but if I don't get what I'm trying to get, oh well.
Yeah, same.
I'll just have to use what I have. I'm not going crazy on Datacrons. So when I'm done with Conquest, which it takes me about a week and a half to get my Datacrons, and then I have a general idea of like, then I'll just re-roll, and like I said, finish what I'm leveling up or finish re-rolling what I need to finish. So, like, what? Do I just, like, not do anything for the remainder month and a half until the next set comes out? You know what I mean? I'm like,
you mean 3 months? In the new version, you're going to get all your Datacrons, like, right away. Like...
Right. Yeah.
Like, how many level 9 Datacrons? Like, max 3? Or, like, most players are not... I mean, like... You know, you and a lot of endgame players.
And after that first Datacron update, like set 1 was awful. Set 1 was just like money, and then they made set 2, and it's like, holy shit! Like Datacrons grow on trees now.
Yeah, which was awesome.
But the thing is, people are under the impression that like they're losing their GACs because they like my opponent's got 20 R9s. It's like you can't even use 20 teams on defense. You know what I mean? It's just like.
Well, that's the thing. Like the reason people have so many level 9 datacrons is because the reroll materials are so expensive and hard to get, and now even harder to get because they're only in TW, and we don't know how much we're gonna get, but we're assuming not very much. That you have to just, it's easier to just go to Conquest and get the mats and just make a bunch of level 9 datacrons and hope one of them rolls everything you want. Like, that's easier than getting one datacron and re-rolling it to be good.
Well, my point is, like, I don't, like, and I would consider myself an in-game player. I feel like I don't need more than, like, 3 per set. Like, 3, maybe 4 at most, and then I'm good.
Yeah.
Like now it's like, maybe I get one more because, we're only running 2 sets at a time now, so maybe I do need to go a little bit harder. But it's just like I have so much more time, so it just feels like
maybe maybe this is not
the metas are going to be like not stale, but the metas are going to be very
less fluid.
They're going to be like they were before datacrons came in. Let's just say that. That's how I feel like they're going to.
It's just going to be more expensive, but it's going to be the same thing.
Yes, like we're going back.
We get 3 datacron metas a year. We usually get 2 to 3 meta-defining characters a year. All right, like get a GL. We get a Malgus, and we get a Maul, or something like that. You know what I mean? Or we get like a new ship or something, right? It's just that, except it's easier to monetize, and less work has to be put into it. The one thing that I am potentially happy about I just had an epiphany is, you get all your datacrons in the first month of the 4-month thing, like, maybe you're just done fucking beating your head against Conquest for the next 3 months. Because, like, you don't have to do it every month. It's like one Conquest. You're like a Conquest on, a Conquest off. One Conquest, you got all your materials. Second Conquest, you just fucking don't do anything.
I don't think so. I don't think
so because they're going to make it harder to get the materials. But, like, I'm hoping that is the case.
Well, no, but, like, everything rolls over. So, I mean, like, you know, if we're talking, like, 4 or 5 months from now when we're going back to when we're just doing the 2 sets, like, I think you still want to hit Conquest hard because, like, when the new set comes out, all your shit's just gonna convert, right? Yeah. And plus the currency, the data cache, like that's like the best place to get it is Conquest.
That's a good point.
You don't get as much as you do from the store, but if you do a little bit every day, it's like that's free, pretty much.
Yeah, that's a good point. I am just fishing. Well, I'm not actually fishing. Right now, I'm logging into a new instance of BlueStacks so that I can do the titty unlock tomorrow. But
sick, man. I'm not getting it, so.
Well, I'm not getting it either. But I have access to an army of people who have more money than I do.
Oh.
I know.
An army of money, you say?
What's the good? How many cores do you use for BlueStack? Fuck, I haven't made a new BlueStack instance in fucking forever. Did I just use the standard?
I use a 32-bit.
I use 64.
I mean, I like to run at like 60 FPS, but 64 for whatever reason doesn't work for me, so I just run at 32. I'm just like, whatever.
All right, let me check. My HOM-E is 64-bit.
So it starts tomorrow at noon.
Yeah, which I guess is.
And it's only running for 24 hours, so you better.
Well, I mean, the guy that I'm using for it has all the stuff done.
Okay.
So I'll be able to do the unlock and all that shit.
Don't lose his mods.
That's hilarious. I did like a quick little 1-minute video on it. I was just like, hey, good luck.
Bye.
I mean, they did a little post on it, like, you're gonna get your mods back, so.
They better hurry the fuck up. TW sign up starts tomorrow.
That would be hilarious if they just like happen to drop a pack that's like, hey, you don't got any mods. Here's 10, 25 speed mods. For $1,000.
Our characters look like Swiss cheese in TW. We're just missing a shitload of mods.
Yeah. Now would be a perfect time for a pack that just like an unlimited pack, kind of like the Datacron pack, which just gives you mod stuff.
Mod stoof.
Mod Stuffenhufen. Oh, all right. Did we touch on all of the bases? Have all of the bases been rounded? I had to explain to my girlfriend the other day how baseball works. I was like, see those bases? If you touch all of them, you score.
What? Yeah. I don't know if we can be friends, man. I don't think I can hang out again unless your unless your girlfriend knows what baseball is.
I mean, so here's the thing: is like, She doesn't. I mean, she's not a Giants fan per se, even though we live in SF. She's more of an Oakland. Imagine. She's more of an A's fan. I mean, she's not an A's fan because they suck. But she doesn't like sports. She likes soccer a little bit, but she doesn't like sports. So it's hard to like football.
But
she doesn't
the
understand.
A's, who are just.
She doesn't like the A's. I'm saying she should be an A's fan geographically.
Oh, okay.
But she's not a baseball fan. So like the other day we were at a Padres Giants game. We went there. I don't have the hat on me. It's in my car. We went for the sole purpose of getting a custom Giants Harry Potter hat because she likes Harry Potter.
Okay.
So we got
what is a Harry Potter hat, by the way?
It's literally just a Giants hat with the colors of the Harry Potter things. I never watched or read Harry Potter with like the insignia of the different houses. We got like Gryffindor hats because
that's cool.
I wanted the snake one, the Slytherin, because it was green and kind of cool and like kind of funny because it sounds stupid.
Yeah.
But we got stuck with
rather than Hufflepuff. That's like the ass of Hogwarts, from what I'm told.
Yeah, I've never read or watched, but yeah, so like I was explaining to her what was going on, and we left in like the 6th inning because the Padres like weren't doing anything for some reason, and the Giants just suck ass this year, right? So we left at the 6th, and then she said later that like a bunch of like someone hit something into the water in McCovey Cove, and there was like a fight or something. Like we missed everything. Like the second we left, everything
hit something to the water, and some guy just started running around in a square.
Yeah. No, but like there was like a brawl or something. I don't know. She was showing me clips. Like apparently, like just like the game became exciting. Like there was like a walk off or something. Like right after we left, which is just I just thought it was funny. But yeah, the point I was trying to make is, what was the point I was trying to make? The point I was trying to make is, she doesn't understand baseball. So I had to explain the bases. And I don't know where we got, but that's where we're going to end, Van Seal.
All right.
I think that was a productive little excursion we had. What should I title this? JMK with wings?
JMK's got wings.
Or should I call it being choked by a dick, not in the mouth, but actually around the neck? I feel like that was a pretty good. I feel like every PP podcast, there's like one really, really suspicious quote that I say that like ends up like one person finds and then like puts it on the Discord, and then everyone's like, "Oh yeah."
They gave JMK wings in the form of titties.
JMK got titties. Fuck, dude. We gotta stop ourselves from very weird PNGs of Star Wars characters made to sexualize them.
Yeah, but your fan base loves it.
That's true.
Are you still live? Are we still recording?
I'll end it right now. Bye, guys. Bye. 1 second. Don't tell me your social security number until now.